Hi everyone. Today I'll be doing the presentation on our walking prototype known as mindful driving, which is a smart technology for safer roads. So this working model we presented in our STEM exhibition that was on November 11. So November 11 is the day when we celebrate the birth anniversary of our fourth king. So the theme was Innovate for Tomorrow, Shaping a Sustainable Future. And uh, we stood second position in the district level. Before I start, I'd like to present you with the question. If I can have a first question. Yeah. So the first question is, what two major issues does the mindful driving model aim to address? So uh, can I have the options so that the audience can just guess what I'll be talking about? So, dear audience, you can go through the four options and you can type what my project, my model is going to talk about. Overspeeding and reckless driving, traffic congestion and vehicle maintenance, driver fatigue and alcohol consumption, and poor road condition and navigation errors. Okay, I can see some of you are writing the options. Okay, okay, good to see. Some of you are right. Okay, thank you for the response. Now, I would like to start with the video first. Okay, can you pause a bit? So, for making the model, we went through phases like planning. Then we, our students made constructed the base of the model. Then this is called as Mani Dunkor, spiritual uh, thing, and then we construction of the road, building of the car body, and this then the students were asked to make the model such that the car can move in a circular motion, and there we went through a lot of trial and error method. At first it wasn't working, but through lots of trial and error we finally it worked. And we can see here the car, I mean, it is moving perfectly in a circular motion. We did connection, circuit connection. There was testing of the alcohol sensor. Where, so this is the testing of the alcohol sensor, whereby when we bring alcohol near to the sensor, it detects. So as you can see, this is the RG. So through this, if it goes alcohol value goes above threshold level, then the car stops. So in brief, this is how it works. Then the next was eye blink sensor testing, then the motor car, and this is our model, mindful driving. And we have some quotes pasted on it. And this was during our STEM exhibition. So as you can see here, the car is moving perfectly fine. So at this time, but you can see the car has stopped. Now this one, you can see here, as the car is moving, it stops uh, because the driver has fallen asleep, and it detects that the driver has fallen asleep, and as a result the car stops. So in brief, this is how the model works. Can I have? Yeah, this is the one. So you can see here when the driver, you can see when the driver wears these goggles with the eye blink sensor. If the driver, after a long journey, long hours of journey, he gets fatigued and he feels asleep, then uh, then what happens is the car stops, the buzzer makes noise, and you can see the water coming, splashing his face, his eyes. So as a result, the driver can gain his consciousness. You can see my student, that on his face the water is splashing. So that's how it, in brief, it works. Okay, thank you. Now let's move to our PPT. Okay, uh, so before I begin my PowerPoint presentation, uh, the theme was innovate for tomorrow, shaping a sustainable future. So taking the inspiration of our vision, gross national happiness, and mindfulness city, we thought of making innovative project whereby the main aim was not only to win the competition but to engage the students through hands-on activity to make them know some of the science concept, physics concepts such as electromagnetism, infrared technology, uh, and relay, and so on, as we, and even the coding. And here we our HM has time and again mentioned that STEM should be the universal language, especially for the youth. So I found that through this model, in a way, student could learn all these new concepts, and as well as they could inculcate the four C's, that is the critical thinking, collaboration, communication. So in that way they develop all this skill. Okay, now I proceed. So this is the brief circuit connection of the alcohol sensor. So this is your Arduino Uno, this microcontroller, a brain of this circuit. And to this Arduino Uno, alcohol sensor is connected. And so this alcohol sensor, it has some parts like VCC, analog signal, GND. So VCC is voltage common collector. Then we have AO, analog output, GND, ground connection. So here, uh, how the connection was made is the VCC of the alcohol sensor. By the way, this alcohol sensor is called as MQ3. So the VCC of MQ3 is connected to the 5 volt of Arduino, and through Arduino it gets its the voltage. Then the ground of MQ3 is connected to ground of the Arduino, and analog output is connected to the AO, analog output of the Arduino. So this is a short brief connection of the alcohol sensor to Arduino. Now, uh, our model does not only talk about the alcohol detection, but also about the there are many other parts. And from here, now we are connecting to the relay. We need a relay. Relay is like automatic switch. So first we have two relay. So the first relay is was used for alcohol detection control. So the VCC of the relay, just like in alcohol sensor we had VCC. Similarly, relay also has VCC, and this VCC is connected to 5 volt of Arduino, and GND is connected to GND of Arduino, and there is signal pin of the relay which is connected to digital pin 9 of the Arduino. Now this is the brief circuit connection for the eye blink sensor. So the earlier one till this much is for alcohol sensor circuit connection, and this one is for the eye blink sensor. At the moment, I'm just talking about the input part. Later on, I'll move forward to the output part. Now, this is called eye blink sensor. So, eye blink sensor, it has IR emitter, IR sensor, and it also has VCC, GND, and output pin. So, here also the VCC of this eye blink sensor is connected to the VCC of the second relay. So here we are using the second relay. The first relay was with the alcohol sensor. So VCC of the eye blink sensor is connected to the VCC of the second relay, and it is also connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Now the next is ground part of this eye blink sensor is connected to the ground part of the second relay and the negative terminal of the battery. And the third one, that is signal pin of this eye blink sensor, is connected to the signal pin of the second relay. Now this till this much is the input part. For the first one is the alcohol sensor, and the second one is the eye blink sensor. Now the output part is the com. In the relay there is a pin called common part. So the common part of both the relays, it is joined together with the wire, and it is connected to the first part of the switch. Then from the second terminal of the switch, it is connected to the positive part of the various component like our buzzer, water pump, LED bulbs, and the positive terminal of 3.7-volt battery. Then in the relay, there is another point called NO, that means normally open. So the normally open part of both the relays, it is being connected to negative part of the water pump, LED bulbs, and the negative terminal of car motor. And at last, after this connection, now to make the circuit complete, at last is the negative terminal of the battery is then connected to positive terminal of the car motor. So you might be wondering, in the beginning I showed you the video whereby the car, it started running smoothly, but when if let's say the driver has consumed alcohol more than required, more than the threshold level, what happens is the car stops immediately, it won't start only. So how is the alcohol sensor working? So now I'll talk about the working principle. uh okay, so this, anyways, so here the alcohol sensor, it works by measuring the change in the resistance of an internal sensing material when exposed to alcohol. So here this alcohol sensor is made up of a semiconductor known as tin dioxide. uh, it has a layer of tin dioxide, and what happens is oxygen, if the air is clean, the oxygen will get absorbs into this tin dioxide layer, and thus attracting electrons, and as a result there will be barrier, there will be resistance, and as a result the current won't flow. But when there is alcohol in the air, then what happens is this alcohol will react will react with the oxygen, and this oxygen, when it gets contact with the tin dioxide, then what happens is it reduces the resistance. As a result, the electron flows, the current flows in the circuit. And that's how uh, when we bring the alcohol near the alcohol sensor, it detects the presence of alcohol. So if the alcohol sensor detects alcohol, which is let's say above the certain threshold level, then what will happen is our Arduino, our microcontroller, it will get triggered. It knows that the threshold level of alcohol has reached. It's more than that. and as a result it will pass the message to the first relay. And when the first relay is gets activated, then the normally open the NO, that's normal open, contact remains open. And since the circuit gets open, the motors, it cuts off the motor's negative connection, and that prevents the motor car from running, meaning the car stops. So this is how the alcohol sensor works, uh, in preventing uh, accidents. We know that it is said that one of the leading cause of accident is drunk driving and the driver fatigue. So this is how we came up with the idea that through using this alcohol sensor, we can prevent, in a way, accident. Now, this is the coding, Arduino coding. So here, this it's called a software called Arduino IDE, and here, basically, this coding has, it talks about the alcohol. We have at first, threshold level we kept it as, let's say, 850, and here, when the alcohol value is greater than 850, then what happens is it has reached its threshold level. So as a result, alcohol is detected, then the motor stops. And if it is below the threshold level, then the what happens is, the car keeps on running. So this coding for this setup. Now, before I move to the eye blink sensor, uh, I have one question regarding the alcohol. If you can highlight that third question, it is about alcohol. Yes. So, how does the resistance of the alcohol sensor changes when ethanol is detected? So, dear audience, what do you think? Will it increase? It decreases, remains constant, or fluctuates randomly? So, okay. So, audience, you can give your answers. What could be? Okay, one of you have answered. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I can see many of you are giving the correct answer. It's nice. So the correct answer is it decreases. Option B. Thank you. Now let's move to the second part. So so in our model, we made use of ethyl alcohol, since it was present in our chemistry lab, and when it reached above the threshold level, the alcohol sensor detected and the car stopped running. Okay, now let's move to the eye blink sensor. So the eye blink sensor, main thing, the working principle eye blink sensor is, it is based on infrared technology. So basically, uh, eye blink sensor, it has a sensor, IR transmitter and IR receiver, or you can say IR emitter. It emits that infrared light. So infrared light gets inside our eye, or it scatters to our eye. So imagine the infrared light getting inside our eye. So I'm opening my eyes. Now when I open my eyes, then what happens is, uh, sorry. So when the eye, infrared light gets towards our eye, if the eye is closed, then what had happen is the eye rays will get reflected back with larger intensity. It gets reflected back with larger intensity when I close my eyes, and that will be detected by the photodiode. Now if I open my eyes like this, then what happens is obviously eye light will get emitted to my eyes and scattered towards my eye, but it will get reflected back towards the photodiode with less intensity. So you can see there's a fluctuation of the intensity when reflecting back. So thus, if the sensor detects our abnormal eye blinking, it indicates drowsiness, and it will then trigger our second relay. And this second the second relays, it has a normally open part, so this contact is connected to the negative terminal of the motor. So when the relay is triggered, saying that the relay gets triggered because it has detected the abnormal blinking of the eye, drowsiness. So what happens is it opens the circuit, and thus the car stops. So that's how the eye blink sensor works. Now the last one is relay module. Now this relay module, throughout this experiment, we have made use of relay module for first the alcohol sensor, and the second one is for the eye blink sensor. And relay module plays a very important role. Its main working principle is actually electromagnetism, and we teach students about electromagnetism, and through this model they learn better about electromagnetism. So inside the electromagnetism there is a armature coil. So when we apply voltage through battery to this relay, then what will happen is the coil gets powered, it gets voltage, and this current will produce the magnet. So what do you call the production of the magnetism through current, we know that's electromagnetism. And as it produces magnetic field, it will help the armature coil uh, to move to close, and as a result this you can see these two point, it gets attracted. So it gets attracted, so as it closes the bulb glows. So you can see here the bulb glowing, so which means the circuit gets complete. So this relay, in a way, it's act like an automatic switch, is act as a circuit control. It allows a low power signal to control a high power circuit. So this is how the relay module works, and its principle is known as electromagnetism. Now, what are the features or the advantages of a working model? Number one, enhance road safety. Yes, both by using alcohol sensor as well as the eye blink sensor. In a way, it helps in preventing drunk driving and drowsy driving, reducing the risk of accidents. And moreover, in our system, the interesting thing is when the driver falls asleep, and when the driver falls asleep and if his eyes remain closed for like 2 seconds, then what will happen is the eye blink sensor detects, and as a result the car stops. Not only that, there is a buzzer also, so buzzer makes noise. And in our car we also have put the led bulbs in the front part and the back part of the car, so as to avoid accident. Because when the car suddenly stops, then there's chances that from the back part the other car might get crash to our car. So as a result, these led bulbs at the front and the back, it will also help in preventing the accident. And at last, the interesting thing about our model is that when the driver falls asleep, then what you call the water also splashes on his face. Thus, the driver gains his consciousness. And it also has sustainable impact, like it reduces material waste and carbon emission by preventing accident and vehicle damage. And moreover, uh, uh, it 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 aligns with the sustainable development goal, like safety, like health, transportation system. And the last is versatile and scalable. It can be implemented in the commercial, personal, or public vehicle, especially not only traditional vehicle, it can also be used in electronic vehicles. And in our countries, uh, there are some electronic vehicles as well. So maybe in future it's possible that integration of this sensors such as alcohol sensor, eye sensor can be helpful in preventing this road accidents, and in that way we can save a lot of life. And this is one of the real. So I saw this in one of the YouTube videos whereby they have come up with a prototype. And so in our prototype we have um, made use of alcohol sensor, eye blink sensor, and all. And in reality, if we integrate into our vehicle, then we can integrate in this, for example, like this, in the what you call car steering. And also we can keep, let's say, vision based alcohol detection. So I saw that in some of the developed country they have come up with this vision based alcohol detection whereby the driver is inside, and there they have some kind of uh, camera that detects whether the driver has consumed more level of alcohol. So in a way the car automatically stops. So that's all. Now I would like to conclude here. So here we have one more question. Can you show question number 2? Okay. What does an eye blink sensor detect? So audience, is it air pressure, infrared light changes, sound waves, or brain activity? Okay. Okay, yeah. Looks like all of you listened carefully. All of you gave correct answer. That's infrared light changes. So I would just like to conclude here that this working model is, I mean, it's just a prototype, but it has some potential. In future, maybe it can be made into real life application, and maybe in Bhutan also, since we are coming up with the Galifo mindfulness city. So maybe in future we can have such kind of vehicle whereby all these kind of sensors are used, and in a way it can help save life. That's all. Thank you.